Hello and welcome to the Appleby Hour. I am Appleby, and today real simple. I just want to lay out my position on copyright. So, copyright, pretty simple. I think everybody understands. It's the idea that you own your own creative works. Now, I, I almost want to say that I'm against it just flatly, but that's not true. it's it's a little more complicated than that. It's just I don't know, my instinct is to say that because it's so restrictive right now that it seems, I don't know, I want to push back against it. And I'll tell you why. So there's this pretty famous case of a photographer who was taking pictures of a chimpanzee, and chimpanzee got a hold of the camera. Chimpanzee takes a selfie with the camera. And the courts ruled that the chimpanzee owns the copyright to that particular photograph and that the photographer couldn't put it up on display. Now, I think that there's like even within the copyright framework where that exists, you could argue that it's a ready-made that you're taking someone else's work, but by choosing to put it on display, because you are an artist, that you've made another statement. So I think that even within our current system is absolutely bogus. But this is exactly the I don't know this place where copyright meets nature. I think is interesting, and it sort of explains. It allows me to explain why I'm against the current copyright sort of regime. Uh, no one owns a sunset. No one owns Mount Everest or the Amazon. You know, everyone is allowed to take photographs of, to make art of, to take those natural features and bring them into your art. Everyone agrees that nature is beautiful, but everyone also agrees that it is not in and of itself art. Now, the chimpanzee, right? Chimpanzee is a part of nature. It takes the photograph, but we give it copyright, you know, rights to its work, which seems sort of absurd on the face of it. And it's not because I think that a chimpanzee has any less sort of uh, like they're sort of a lesser being. I don't like speciesism like that. No, no, it's just that the chimpanzee is a product of nature, and so is the photograph, right? And that's how I feel with people. We are a product of nature, of our environment, of the culture that came before us. Nothing is truly original. It's sort of a sliding scale, but even the most original works come from the experience and the media which existed before it came into being. You know, and I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to say that, well, you know, at the very least, it is absurd that we even give it the lifetime of the creator. Like copyright lasts a lifetime and 75 years. I think that's the current paradigm. So lifetime of the creator, 75 years after their death. Absurd. At the very least, it should end with their death. But not even that. I'd rather it was just like I think 25 years is a nice chunk of time to do something with a copyrighted work. Uh, yeah. And even within that, I want fair use to be greatly expanded. You shouldn't be able to own a character or a setting or, individual chunks of text, even, or like everyone agrees. At least I would hope. If you don't agree, let me know because that's absolutely flabbergasting to me. Everyone agrees that if you take a bunch of existing pieces of artwork, photography or scanned paintings, whatever, something visual, and then you cut that all up and make something new with it. It's an art form called collage. It's a medium. Uh, that is a new piece, right? And nobody seems to disagree on that. But for some reason, and a lot of this is sort of wrapped up in AI. A lot of this is, they're like, oh, it just scrapes the internet for references, and it's like, okay, uh, why do I care? I don't care. Uh, like, I don't know. You don't own characters. You don't own settings. You shouldn't be able to own. Oh, I say you don't. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to own your style. I don't care how long it took you to develop. You don't own your style. Like, get the fuck out of here. Um, and I don't even think you should be able to own your likeness. I mean, does the chimpanzee own his likeness? Like, if you take a picture of him, you take the picture. You can't copyright that. You can't sell that because the chimpanzee did not consent to blah 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 blah. Yeah, I don't. Look, I think that a lot of problems with me can be solved with harassment laws. But let's just put that aside for a moment. If you're a public figure, I do not believe you own your likeness whatsoever. I think anyone can do whatever they want with your likeness. It to me, this is the most direct example of like somebody coming to me and they're like, I own Everest. Like, if Everest was a sentient being, I don't think it would have any legal standing, or I mean, it probably would, but it shouldn't have any legal standing to be like, how dare you take photographs of me? I didn't consent to those photographs. It's like, you're a feature of the natural world. But, like, get over yourself. I don't know. So, I guess all I'm trying to get across is that I believe that copyright should be greatly expanded. And basically, to like, compared to what we have now, it's essentially needs to go away. I don't think it's cool if you're like say you make a graphic novel. I don't think it would be cool if somebody and it shouldn't be supported by the law for somebody to just resell it and make profit from it, unless of course the artist has put it under that copyright. I forget which one it is. There's a bunch of different kinds. um but if a person went in and they drew millennial mustaches on every character and every panel, and then they wanted to sell that, I do support that. That's a new work, you know and that line is always going to be fuzzy and whatever. Okay, I don't know. I want artists to be able to make money off of their work, but also at the same time, the fact that like artist is a profession and a job is kind of like sickening to me. That's not what it should be about. If your primary concern as an artist is making money, even though you need that money to survive, I understand. I get it. I'm trying to do the same thing. I don't think that if your primary goal is, oh, I got to sit down and make this art. In fact, I'm kind of doing that right now. Then it's become corrupted. It's become twisted. That's not right. And so to say that we should like compromise and like take away from people's ability to make creative works with the characters and the places and the things that they love, the styles that they like, that we should restrict that artificially to preserve this capitalist sort of impulse, this commodifying of art, is, I don't support that. I think, I don't know. Those are my thoughts in a nutshell. And I don't want to ramble on forever. Thank you for listening. Let me know what you think. Share around. You know.